Yo, man, peace, love, and light to you, family, friends. And I know we got some enemies and haters checking in. We just completed week 4. We're heading into week 5 in the Cocoon, but this is a special Sovereign nightcap because what we're going to cover is competition over cooperation. All right, I see a lot of that going on in our culture right now. What we need to be able to do is understand what true competition is and how we need to collaborate and cooperate with one another. Because I think that we're getting certain things confused and we want to be able to iron it all out. Now, this should be the last time we discuss this. In the rest of my videos, I'm targeted towards my clients. So no longer am I shouting for the culture. Y'all should be getting this. Y'all should be tapped in. So now we got to really get to the bread. All them likes on Facebook and Instagram, it ain't getting us to the paper. Because the moment you start promoting your business, you'll see Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're going to take you out of that algorithm. And we don't want to hear a grown man or people crying on Facebook when you need to be able to face your problems in life. And that's what we're here for, to give true solution to the issues. And the one thing that we got to highlight is competition. Man, we got to be clear on what competition is, because in our culture we got a true crab in the bucket mentality. In a world often consumed by competition, many of us unknowingly adapt a crab in the bucket mind state where individuals, instead of uplifting one another, we pull each other down in the attempt to get ahead. This behavior stems from fear, scarcity, and ego. But spiritually, we are not called to stand on each other for elevation. Instead, we are designed to thrive in unity and cooperation, reflecting the divine principle of interconnectedness. What we don't understand at times is that we're connected. Like family, we're connected. Friends, we're connected. Enemies, we're connected. Haters, we're connected, because it's a thin line between love and hate, right? The things that you admire in me, somewhere is triggering that false sense of security that you have within yourself. And what I show you is how to really and truly grow. What I show you sometimes is really what you should be doing. A lot of people I reach out to, but you ignore me, and I'm cool with that. You shun me, and I'm cool with that. And you think that's going to stop the progress and what me and the creator is doing. But oftentimes the only thing you're doing is putting fuel to the fire, right? You're allowing me to be more sound and more disciplined and rooted in what needs to take place. The reason why I'm addressing this topic that we have here today, so we can elevate in our culture, family. Competition, in its toxic form, it breeds backbiting and deceit, a deceptive cycle where individuals manipulate or portray each other in order to win. You feel me? So that's what's going on. Like, somebody will feel like my downfall is going to elevate you. Wrong. That's not what's happening. So let's get into isolation, because I don't want to spend too much time on this topic today. We're going to breeze through this and we're going to move forward. Isolation. The belief that success is a solo journey. It creates loneliness and distrust, right? That scarcity mindset. The idea that there's not enough for everyone. It creates jealousy and division. This mindset is not only counterproductive, but it also misaligns with the spiritual principle, as Proverbs 27:17 states, that iron sharpens iron. We're created to build one another up, not tear each other down. So now we're going to get into the power of cooperation. When we build it collectively and cohesively, as we talked about the ants, when we're talking about that unity, that peace, and that love. Cooperation is rooted in love, unity, and abundance. It acknowledges that we are stronger together and not alone. Success multiplies when it's shared. Cooperation reflects divine harmony. As seen in natural worlds, when we're talking about the ants, remember, even though small, working collectively to achieve monumental tasks is phenomenal. Cooperation embodies the true spirit of love, where individuals seek the well-being of the whole, not just themselves. This mindset moves competition to collaboration, from scarcity to abundance. So when we're talking about moving to abundance, another thing that we got to be able to let go of is ego. We got to be able to cut out the ego. The ego is dangerous to us building collectively and cohesively. The ego is dangerous when we're talking about cooperation, when it's not put in its proper perspective and it's not in check. At its core, competition is driven by human need for validation, survival, and self-worth. While healthy competition can inspire growth, toxic competition can often trigger the brain's stress patterns, and it leads to anxiety, distrust, and insecurities. This fight or flight reaction disrupts relationship and the community harmony. But cooperation activates the brain reward system. Studies show that cooperation, it releases this binding hormone, creating trust, and it releases stress. So what am I getting at, family? I'm getting at when we work collectively and cohesively together with a growth mindset, we're actually releasing dopamines in the brain that create success. This is how miracles are created. Understand the universal law that we are connected to each other and we got to be good to each other. I don't care what spiritual system that we follow, right? And I'm going to get into this quite frank. Oh, I got to get into this. I don't care what spiritual principle you follow. That system should be aligning you with the divine essence where it's making you a better person and you're contributing to humanity, right? To your brothers and to your sisters, and you're not pulling other human being down. I'm going to read you something that my good brother had to write a letter. Olosegun, who was a great Babalawo, a spiritual teacher in Oshogbo in Nigeria, we had to address a situation, and I want to be able to read a letter that he wrote, a beautiful letter, right? To give us an insight and a perspective about not pulling each other down, and how me as a traditionalist Yoruba and a real traditionalist Yoruba, we don't hate on no prophet, right? I'm not here to bring your religion down to promote my faith. You feel me? So I want to read something my good brother wrote.
I am reaching out in response to a recent YouTube video where a Christian pastor has openly criticized African spirituality, including the revered Orisha tradition. While I respect his position as a pastor and his commitment to promoting his faith, I must express my concerns regarding the misinformation and dismissive tone towards African spiritual practices. As a leader of his congregation, it is understandable that he aims to keep his audience engaged by preaching about Jesus and the Bible. However, I strongly urge him to refrain from making statements about African spirituality and Orishan tradition, subjects he clearly do not understand. It is important, even as a pastor, to stay within the boundaries of your expertise and not venture into areas where you lack knowledge or cultural insight. His videos reflect a pattern that is unfortunately common. Individuals dismissing or ridiculing indigenous spiritual systems without genuinely understanding or research. This not only perpetuates ignorance, but also disrespects a rich spiritual heritage that predates many of the systems imported into Africa. It is worth noting that his critiques stem from a generational disconnect, one that many Yoruba people like him share due to the overzealous embrace of foreign religions like Christianity and Islam. The disconnection from ancestral knowledge is, in essence, a generational curse, a loss for cultural identity and spiritual depth. There is no value in tearing down a belief system simply to promote another. Even Yeshua, Jesus, who you preach about, never disparaged another tradition to elevate his teachings. His life and message reflect a deep understanding of humanity and spiritual diversity, something that seems to be missing in his rhetoric. For the sake of his audience, many whom trust his words, I encourage him to approach African spirituality with respect or simply avoid discussing it altogether. His platform is influential, and spreading misinformation only adds to the cycle of ignorance and prejudice against a system that has offered wisdom, healing, and guidance to countless generations. If his goal is to uplift people, consider focusing on the values and virtues of his faith without disparaging others. A true leader seeks to unite, not divide. Thank you for your time and understanding, and I hope you reflect deeply on this matter and approach such topics with respect they deserve in the future. Olusegun Daramola, spiritual teacher, author, Babalawo, founder of Ori Awakening Wellness Center, and host of the Light of Ifa podcast.
Beautiful, right? Beautiful. So that's why we got to be able to work together, and we're not here to tear anybody down. If you don't know how to uplift someone, we shouldn't even be trying to say or profess that we're representing any type of faith or religion. If I got to bring you down, if I got to talk down about another individual and I'm not bringing truth, love, and light into any situation. I want to leave you with something that's so profound that my good brother Unten, right? We call him Black Christ, but he gave me this when he was talking about Ubuntu, right? And I pray I'm pronouncing that right, but it's Ubuntu, right? The African thought that emphasizes, I am because we are. I am because we are, right? We are not separate, and we got to get off of this whole division. Anybody that teaches division and they don't preach unity, automatically, man, I got to step away from that. Now, understand this, though, right? I do understand we're not supposed to be uniting with everyone, but at the same token, sometimes we can be too close to a person in their season of growing, and it's okay for us to walk away. I understand that, family, but we're not here cutting people off, trying to turn our back on people. My light should shine, and you should ask me, good brother, I need to figure out what it is that you do so I can have that same light, and then I can share my faith with you. But I'm not here to tear nobody down, all right? And that's what we need to be able to understand. So I'm all about cooperating. I'm not here to compete with anybody. I'm only trying to be better than the best version. I'm only trying to be the best version of myself, and I'm not trying to stand on top of you to see your downfall like that's gonna uplift me. That's a coward mentality. And my name is Akin Shayed Luai Toby, and we don't get down like that in my culture. All right? So peace, love, and light to you, family, friends. And I know we got some haters and some enemies tapped in, but at the same token, man, it's all love. And guess what? We're here to elevate and educate ourselves as we're heading into week 5 in the Cocoon. If you haven't been with us, you need to tap in. We're about to be 5 weeks in the Cocoon. Remember, we're closing the year out 9 weeks. This is what we change. This is what we gonna grow. This is what we really and truly gonna elevate. And I hope I meet y'all there, because we're not gonna be crying on social media. We're here to face our problems, to stand up with that warrior spirit and do what needs to be done, because our family is dependent on it, and the next generation is dependent on it as well too. You know that I love y'all, family, but let's go and let's grow.